All right.
This is the Doug Gottlieb Show. This is America's longest-running afternoon drive sports radio show, broadcasting live from the studios of Fox Sports Radio.
Bang, bang, won't stop till we're legends.
Here's Doug Gottlieb.
Carmelo Anthony is likely, by all accounts, to be a Houston Rocket. Now, I do think there's a chance that he becomes a member of the Golden State Warriors. I do think that actually makes sense. But let's play the imaginary. All right, let's assume he becomes a Rocket conversation. So what has happened with the Rockets is they're going to lose Trevor Ariza. He's now a member of the Phoenix Suns. He works out, by the way, in our building. Yoga guy in the offseason. And Luke Richard Mbamute is going back to the LA Clippers. Now, Mbamute, he's a good bench player, and what happened to him with the Clippers was, it's called the Peter Principle. It's a business term. The Peter Principle is when you're promoted above your level of competency. When he's with the Clippers, as a bench player, he's really good. You put him as a starting three, and he's not good enough. Can't shoot, can't score. But again, very good role player. And I was thinking about how to describe what the Rockets were, what they evolved into, and what they will now be. And Vegas came to mind. So you just say Vegas, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, okay, I'm in. I'm listening, right? You said Vegas. So Vegas came to mind, and there's really two reasons why. One was a movie. It's called Molly's Game, High Stakes Poker. You guys seen it? The idea of Molly's Game is kind of simple, right? There's this high stakes poker game, and a bunch of wealthy people who are swinging you-know-whats invite kind of an unknown everyday poker player to play. And he has a smart winning strategy, right? And it's like the slow and steady tortoise against the hare to win the race. And he keeps winning, and the rest of the players start getting mad. He's not famous. All he does is take other people's money. But then it gets good to him, right? And then he snaps. He goes full tilt. He's down millions. I even liken this. I remember watching the movie and thinking to myself, like, that's me in Vegas, right? Who doesn't go to Vegas and think, all right, I got a plan. I'm going to go blackjack table. I'm going to have $250. I am not going to go to the ATM and pull out any more money. This is it. This is my entertainment money. I'm just going to keep, and I have it in I got the card. I know when to hit. I know when to stay. I know when to double down. I know when to split, what not to split. I got it. And you win 20 here. You lose 50 there. You win 100 here. You lose 40 there. And you're up a little bit. And then you get tens. And you're looking across, and you got tens, and the dealer's got a 7 showing. And you think to yourself, it's a winning hand. Right? But why win one hand when you can win 2? Dealer's got a 7 showing. Dealer flips over a face card. That's 17. Can't hit anymore. I win both, regardless of what I have. Why don't you split those? And the dealer says, you sure you want to split those? And you say something because you're a couple drinks in. Did I stutter? Right? You think you got the whole world. You're looking at your chip pile. You're good. You're good. You're sober enough to know what you're doing, but buzzed enough to really enjoy how you're doing it. You split tens. You get a face card. Now you got 20. You get a 9. Now you get 2 winning hands. You doubled your money. But then the dealer does something that's kind of interesting. Flips over a 4, then hits it with the 10. Now all of a sudden you didn't lose 1, you lost 2 hands. And you keep going and going and going. And you think to yourself, all right, I'm going to ride this out. There's a new dealer coming. The new dealer comes and you don't get any good cards. Next thing you know, you're down 250, and you told yourself, I will not go to that ATM, especially when you go to the ATM and suddenly now just to pull out a wad of cash, it's like a $7 charge. You're like, what? $7 just to take out money that I'm going to lose anyway? Next thing you know, you got to call home the next morning. Your wife asks, how's the conference going, hun? Great. Did you gamble any? Yes. Now, here comes how'd you do? She gets the bank statement. She's not an idiot. She knows they keep building. The point is that whether it's Molly's game and his plan, or whether it's your plan, the fact is that you have a smart strategy, one that wins for you. That might not win enough for you, or as quickly as you want. That's the Houston Rockets. Rockets were building. They used analytics. They slowly but surely changed from being a terrible defensive team to being a palatable defensive team to, hey, outside of James Harden, a pretty good defense team. And they even learned how to play with James Harden. If you watched how James Harden played, instead of not paying any attention defensively, he'd simply pressure the basketball and then make you drive to Clint Capella, who would block shots. Everybody else would be grabbing and holding their guy so that you were forced to play 2-on-1 with one of the elite, athletic, young shot blockers in the game. It kind of worked. You got corner threes abound. If a guy couldn't play, at least he can make a corner three. And then they added Chris Paul. Now, the Chris Paul thing, in many ways, in the short term, really worked. That's splitting tens. They had a winning hand and winning both of those hands. But the problem becomes the next time you have tens, which is this offseason, do you do it again? And they chose to do it again. Chris Paul, when that trade was made, it was under the understanding that the Rockets would extend him with a supermax deal, which they did. Congratulations to the Rockets for being men of their word. Congratulations to Chris Paul because he's the head of the Players Association, and the Players Association wants him to get every penny that he's owed. But the problem is that when you start to get $40 million for a 30-plus-year-old point guard who was hurt in the most important game of the season, and you compound that with James Harden's contract, earned and signed a year prior, now all of a sudden you're in cap hell. And you got a bit of due to Ariza, and you got a bit of due to Mbamute, and now you're adding in Carmelo Anthony. Who, though, look, I will tell you, there's a chance that it works for them, but it's not who they are or what they were building. It's not the smart strategy that was employed at the blackjack table or at the poker table to just win a hand and two hands and not go all in and not do anything crazy. Just play smart. When you got a winning hand, play the winning hand. When you don't, fold and wait for the next winning hand. Let the cards determine where you're going. They used analytics. They used mismatches. They played good defense. They were close to winning the whole thing. And while NBA Twitter will tell you that DeMarcus Cousins signing with the Golden State Warriors ended the NBA season, or the competitive balance completely tilted, DeMarcus Cousins may not be ready till February. We don't know how the Warriors will play with him. Will they play big ball or small ball? Because when they've played with the Hampton Five, that's how they've won these 3 championships. The truth is that when Chris Paul decided he had to go and get the Supermax deal, and they lost Ariza, and they lost Mbamute, now likely adding Carmelo Anthony, that's when the NBA championship was decided. It's not that you can't, that going for it doesn't work. But when you have a winning hand, don't split those tens. Collect your money and keep playing hands. The long game is the smart game. It feels like the Rockets kind of forgot that.